Well, hey, Gundam Maniacs, welcome to another episode of Gundam Explained. In this episode, we're going to be taking a look at the Metal Robot Spirits Strike Freedom Type 2 from Seed Freedom, as well as the Proud Defender Metal Robot Spirits from Seed Freedom. Let's look at the boxes just real fast before we get in, just because these are really nice. I love the gold on here. It's all shiny and cool. And it's just got the Type 2 Strike Freedom on here looking cool. We got some stuff going on the back here, and kind of showing off, I guess, where the metal parts are. Here's the Proud Defender, and the box is nearly just as big, which is crazy. It doesn't come with an extra one, but it has a lot of effect parts. And again, it looks cool. It doesn't have that shiny effect, but these boxes just look really nice. So I really like keeping these. All right, and here we go. Here's the Metal Robot Spirits Type 2 Strike Freedom. Let's get a good shot. Okay, it's got so much going on. Let's just lay it flat like that. Next to it, got the Proud Defender. So, at first glance, it's just really nice to see all the details. It's nice to see the metal shininess, the gold. Really liking a lot of what we're seeing here. But first, let's take a deep dive into the Strike Freedom. All right. And with the accessories mostly taken off, we'll take a look at what we've got here design-wise. From the top here, this looks fantastic. I love the way this looks. I've become a big fan of the whole Mighty Strike Freedom thing recently, and the Strike Freedom does evoke some of that classic sort of UC Gundam design, but it does a lot to sort of take it to the extremes while kind of keeping some of what makes that work. The colors here, using primary colors, mostly white, real tight markings really work, and then silver and gold wherever needed. And then as a Robot Spirits figure, I think, metal, in that terms, I think this is one of the best so far from what I've handled. It just seems to be super, super premium. And then taking a look at some of the articulation real quick, head moves around, and it looks like there's a lot of clearance for that articulation there. In fact, let's see how much I can get like a flight pose going. I think that's, that's okay. It's not super flight pose, but that's better than I think what we've seen recently. All right, and then we've got arms. They swivel as they should. We've got the shoulders. They do their thing. Okay, if we look down here, we can see the articulation is made to move forward like that, so that is good. Yeah, that way you can get the good shoulders moving all forward, getting that sword in hand, because of course with the Proud Defender, we get that giant katana, which is pretty amazing. All right, and again, with the abdomen, it does actually go back quite a bit, and forward, not much at all, but I don't know how important that would be. Get down to the skirts. They have plenty of articulation. These also work as weapons, and they're on, what's nice is a metal joint, and it's a ball joint there. Got on the back here, this whole thing opens up, I guess, so that you can do some stuff. That's kind of a weird thing, but okay. All right, and then, with the guns on the side skirts, they open up just as Kira would when he is battling other mobile suits. The knee, let's see how, I haven't really done this. This is really tough, but I guess that's a good thing. That goes up quite a bit without getting in the way of anything. And that's pretty good, actually. That's a good little, I guess, running pose. It looks like in the animes when they draw like the character running toward the screen. I think I'm recreating that. All right, put the knee back. Wow, that is super solid, which I think is a good thing considering this is the lower half to kind of keep it stabilized. But they do come with stands, which I love, and we'll get to that when we get into the accessories. All right, and down at the feet, lots of articulation, and actually it moves very easily. So I guess with how easy this stuff moves around, it's good that we got the solid knee to kind of help hold it up. Wrists aren't actually doing anything fancy. In fact, it looks like there's a little bit of give right here, and then it's just a ball joint, but there's not like the additional articulation we've been seeing. In fact, I feel like it's only been the Ver-Anime Robot Spirits has actually been adding like that extra hidden articulation in places. Back here, we've got just a little bit of articulation for this. Okay, one last thing I want to look at here real quick are the real type markings. I'm a huge fan of real type markings. And while I'm a fan of real type markings, especially like UC style design, when it comes to Seed lore, I'm still familiarizing myself with a lot of it. So, like, for instance, this is supposed to be the new group Compass that encompasses a bunch of different organizations in the Seed universe to kind of help fight in order to defend fighting. And Down here, just some other real type markings. Over here, we've got the gold, and I love it when you see the designation, the mobile suit name and number, even the type 2. That kind of stuff I love. It lends to more of the realistic military robot look. And then, yeah, down here, we're seeing some more of that. And it just contrasts so well with the gold. You know, at the end of the day, this is just an awesome, badass design of a mobile suit, even though I'm more strongly attracted to the Universal Century style. This just sort of evokes that, and again, kind of goes to the extreme. And I think that's something else I've enjoyed about Gundam, how some things I don't really care about in the Gundam universe, over time, I grow to appreciate and enjoy, and then there's some more fun I'm having. All right, to jump into accessories, we've got the main one here, and that is the flight unit, the backpack, which looks fantastic. Why? It's a mix of things. It is the gold, right? It's the gold. It is the style of the lines. It's the gold that's even inside the dragoons, I guess is what you call these. You know, it's having the model number here, or not the model number, but like the name here, the real type markings compass, and then having like the gold here. There's so much to this, the color separation, the gold. This is just such a neat thing on its own, a piece of art on its own, right? It has tons of articulation. So like these will move up, for instance, so you can kind of get a little spider or whatever is supposed to go on here. But what's also interesting is these moving out, and then there's an attachment point, and we'll get to that part actually here in just a second. And then they slide back on, and they seem to go on pretty easy and come off pretty easy with little effort. But yeah, it's like that for all these sides here. There is the plug, and then, you know, obviously this plugs in on the back here. And it is the, you know, number one option you get when you just buy the Freedom Type 2 itself. You know, it doesn't come with the Proud Defender to make the Mighty. That's sold separately. But what you get out of the box for just the Freedom is still amazing. Like, this just looks great. I love the wing binders, all the little gimmicks to it. Without it looking cartoony or anything, it just has a really cool look. All right, for other accessories, we have gun number 1, gun number 2. Pulls out the handle there. Let's see, does this move at all? We're going to look at the instruction manual here in a second because I haven't messed with most of that, but we've got the beam saber handles. We have our full twin beam blade handle. We've got a thing that probably plugs into the connector part of the stand in order to then plug in these plastic pieces for the effect parts that we're going to mess with here soon, or the Dragoons. Shield 1, Shield 2. Look at this badass rifle. Totally forgot about this in the movie. I'll have to rewatch. But this thing looks great. It's got like multiple finishes going on. It's got like a matte finish, but it's also got like the gunmetal style chrome going on here. Also has some real type markings. Removable magazine. Yep. Yeah, this thing is really nicely designed. It's got a connector point right here. So that's probably what goes. And I haven't tried this, so let's try it out. Okay, on the back here, there is a spot there. So let's plug it in. I might have to, I might have to move some of this in. There we go. Let's plug this in. And then, yeah, that sits there. So essentially, potentially, even with these plugged in on the sides, you can have the Mighty Strike Freedom or the Strike Freedom Type 2 specifically hold all of its weapons. And I sort of like that thing. Yeah, even putting the shields on, and it might be a little tight. What's also interesting is you can have the mobile suit hold the weapons, and we'll look at the hands here in a second, and then you could still potentially stick this under here. So that seems to stay in place. Yeah, okay. It's not that tight of a fit, but it's nice that you can do that. For the beam sabers, obviously, you've got the blades. These have a little bit of the silver down at the base to kind of give it a little more of a design, but are these? Oh, yeah. And so I didn't notice this before, but these do have some sort of specific molding that I guess allows it to plug in a certain way. So yeah, there you go. Which I don't know if that's good or bad. I think it keeps it very straight sometimes, especially with like the high grade. It's like it's all flimsy. So I think it's what keeps it straight. I never really realized that. And I wonder if there's a way we could do a quick hack with high grade blades to make them where they're straight. The problem, though, comes into where if this gets hit up against something, more chances probably for it to break than come off, or maybe not. I don't know. Very interesting design choice here. I haven't seen that before. Have you? Okay, and then we've got this thing that goes to something we'll find out here soon. I don't know. We'll We'll journey in this together. And then some other little pieces here. I wonder if they have names for these other than connector piece. And then this is for the stand, which good or bad, not sure yet. I will say that this really helps make it sturdy on the stand and it's not noticeable. So maybe that's the good thing. The bad thing is having this extra thing to put on and take off. And when you want to take it off, it's actually in there really sturdy and you have to pull it out. I mean, that's good. But then if you're wanting to play with your robot, you got to take that off all the time. So there's that. Okay, and then hands. We've got nice gold hands here. We got the trigger finger going on. We've got the beam saber gripping hand. We've got the open dynamic hand, which actually looks really cool. There's a lot going on with that. And that gold, it's just so shiny, but it's still very rubbery. This is very easy to move. I like that. And then, yeah, that's really it for hand. Oh, on the unit itself is the closed fist. So we don't have like those different type of trigger finger hands. They just got the one set, which is perfectly fine with me. I don't need too many extra. And you've got a pretty dynamic, relaxed hand, right? Because this could be reaching out. This could be balancing, you know, that look, or it could be, you know, holding that giant gun that we saw. All right, let's look at the instructions because I've just glanced at it and I think it will be fun to kind of figure out all that this does. All right, this is just showing, I guess, how the articulation works. Showing where it connects, how to plug in those dragoons, if that's what that's called, or it might be on the gold one. That just made me think, how much more would I learn about the names of mobile suits if things weren't in Japanese? You know what I mean? Which I'm not saying, oh no, it has to be in English, but I just realized I wonder if they're naming the things here. And I guess I could just take out my phone and then translate it in real time. I don't feel like it. All right, and just, yeah, showing how to put it on, how to put the beam sabers on, the blade itself, where, yeah, some of that articulation is. Ah, okay, and so that connector piece we saw has to do with the shield, and I actually like that. I like that it extends it past the forearm just a little bit, and it rotates. Oh, and then here's putting the gun together. We'll do that later. More on the back. Okay, here's that gun we saw. Oh, and here we go. So that little piece we saw is something that you can connect on the gun to connect on the side skirt. Here's that stand we're talking about. Awesome that it has it. Okay, here's that little dragoon setup. So it looks like something comes out of the backpack and this is plugged in. Then those pieces plug in. Let's do that here in a second. Okay, so first of all, let's grab this gun we were just looking at in there and then plug in this piece. Let's see if I can do it right. All right, I think this is going on right. We'll then try this. Okay, very cool. That was easy enough. I do like that there's this additional storage option for the Mighty Strike Freedom. And you know what? I wonder if you were to, you could, okay, that wasn't supposed to happen. Let's see if we were to move these apart. Okay, it would still be in that direction. I was kind of see if you can somehow move it up, but no, you can't. It's just cool that that option's there. I'm surprised they did that. That's really cool. All right, and then on the back here, so from the manual, it was saying to take off a piece, and that came off really easily, and actually it's pretty nice. It's actually like a plug that you can just lose. Oh, it's in my hand. Okay, so then you take this, and you plug it in to there, and so that's where you get this aspect of the stand. So what I was doing before is just using this gold connector piece right here on the bottom to plug in and then plug in right here. But since we've now got the thing back here for the effect parts, I guess the idea is you can just plug that in there. So this can be a good option for, I guess, keeping it on display, and then you can take it off via the backpack, plug the thing in if you're gonna then go and play with it. And then you can still have the other stuff there. I kind of like that, actually. Okay, so then what would happen here is you would grab one of these, essentially all of them off here, right? And kind of a closer look at what we're seeing here. And I'm just gonna grab, you know, one of these connector pieces. You can see it's like a zigzag. Maybe it's very interesting because it doesn't need to be that way, but I think this kind of represents the way it would be moving. So that's kind of a neat little design element. Okay, so plugging this in, okay, that just kind of clicked in. And then there's a ball joint on the end. That's quite something. So we have this area on the back here that we can then plug in. Let me carefully move this stuff out of the way without breaking anything. And then we get a good look at it like that, to where easy. So this was a very easy setup. There's been some robot spirits in the past where the effect parts are a little complicated and they kind of fall off easily. But this, no, this is great. Like, I mean, look at how I'm moving that around and then moving this around. This is awesome. So I got to say, this functions very well and it's very easy to do. All right, let's actually move on now to the Proud Defender and take a look. That came off. So that's one thing, whereas, you know, with the Freedom, there was nothing I could necessarily complain about. The one thing I would complain about this is that those golden dragoons actually fall off very easily. Let me see if I can. All right, so for this, just kind of showing you, it looks like a mess. Like, what am I even holding? And that's because it's all open up crazy. Here's a dragoon. It's really cool. It's a gold piece. It has like a little connector area in there. It's just like 2 dots. So it falls off very easily. I don't know if that's good or bad. You can just like snap it on. There's this indentation here and it's supposed to just fit into that and stay. And it does, but I think that makes them fall off easily. So there we go. That's it. So if we were to kind of look at what we're dealing with here, I guess, you know, from the movie, right? The character was in this. This is kind of like the pilot seat right in here. I know that on the third party master grade version, that actually does open and have a pilot seat in there. It's pretty neat. But this looks like what we'd expect, you know, and it even has the real type markings on it, which looks great, looks fantastic. I do think it seems expensive for what you get, but then it's like, okay, there's other accessories and it makes the box big, so it kind of makes sense. This also has some gimmicks to it. It's sort of, you know, the power that it uses. Let's see if I can, okay, I just knocked off another gold thing. You know, let me get out the manual. Let's together, because again, I'm doing this for the first time, together look through the manual and make sure I am not breaking anything and getting the most out of this. So I love how it looks in pictures here. It's like, it looks like futuristic art style of some spaceships, and actually that's literally what we're seeing here. I just love it's like layers of metal and paneling with the real type markings. I don't know, just love the design in general. So with this, yeah, you get your sword. That's pretty cool, kind of showing how the articulation works with the gold parts. And it looks like, yeah, there's a part on the back or the bottom, depending on, I guess, how you describe it, that opens up where you have a plug in that then allows it to go on the stand it comes with. Isn't that excellent that it comes with a stand? Not only does it come with the stand, which is not even featured in the picture here, but it also comes with an alternate piece that you can plug in, so it goes on the back of the Strike Freedom we just looked at in order to get the Mighty Strike Freedom going on. Also, with that special V-fin that opens up to shoot out of, it comes with that to plug in. And okay, cool. Looking at the back here, you can kind of see, okay, at first I thought that was a barrel of like a sniper rifle. I was like, okay, that's sick. But no, that's just the katana, which is badass. It has a katana. We'll look at that. And then, okay, here's the back here. Here's where it's going to get fun, because just like we did with the Strike Freedom Type 2, the Proud Defender also has effect parts to plug in. So on the stand, we're going to put another connector piece thingy and then plug it in and then put all the stuff in, and it will look cool. So let's do it. All right, you know how much audio I'm going to have to cut out from taking all of this awesome electrical effects out of the plastic. The box for the Proud Defender is huge because there's layers of plastic that you peel away to get all of these lightning parts. This is a puzzle that we're going to put together here. All right, here's that V-fin I was talking about that kind of opens up. That's pretty neat. The connector piece that we put on the bottom of the Proud Defender in order to plug it into the Strike Freedom Type 2. And here is the stand it comes with. So this is kind of like a normal basic stand, but it's fine for the Proud Defender since it's that small. But it's going to be more fun to have it connected to the Freedom Type 2. But this is pretty nice, isn't it? That's that connector piece right there that will go in the Proud Defender. But what we're going to do here is a little different. We've got the stand set up here. Okay, so it's saying to take these apart. All right. All right, and this backpack plugs in here. Goes in pretty nice. Has a plug down here on the bottom that pulls off, exposing an area to where you plug in the stand effect part piece. So that goes in there, and it's pretty sturdy on its own. So this is good. This feels good. Knowing that I have multiple options for how I want to kind of keep this displayed, and actually each one is pretty sturdy. And this is a big difference than some others. Robot Spirits, Metal Robot Spirits that I've got. even the Chigokin. But I don't know if this speaks to the attention to quality maybe that they put into Seed over other series. I don't know if that's true. Let me know what you think. Okay, so then check this out. You're supposed to then get a lightning piece and then get 2 of the small lightning pieces. And it looks like there is a ball joint slot and a ball joint on the lightning piece. I would, luckily it's sharp, but you're more likely to bend it than it actually poke you. So this is actually a really good sort of material they used. I don't know if you guys saw that live stream where I was unboxing that Super 7 Godzilla and then I stabbed myself in the thumb trying to take off its head. Yeah, and then my wife cut her finger on the Destroya from Super 7. When I got that, she wanted to see the little guys inside, and it, cut her finger. So here's then what you're supposed to do is make like a little Y out of the lightning. And so, let's do that with the rest. And as I'm doing it, I don't think I'm necessarily, oh my God, like no, they look the same. It looks like on either side. Okay. So the 2 pieces, I guess there's 2 different types of the 2 small pieces. One's to go on the left, one's to go on the right. I don't know how much it really matters. I'm not even already, I could tell by the way the thing looks, I'm not doing it exactly, but it maybe doesn't need to be. It's like I can turn it like this, but it almost makes me think this is really supposed to go on this side and turned around. Once I put it all together, we'll see if that really matters. Because I'm lazy. All right, I'm back. I just built 8 of these. No, that wasn't too bad. I got to say, when it comes to some robot spirits and all the gimmicks and effect parts they have, this seems to be the less troublesome in terms of just getting it together and put together. So that's going to give it some more kudos. Not only that, but the whole time that I was building these, I kept poking myself, but it wasn't hurting. So I appreciate the materials they used to make this really easy and pleasant to put together. But now let's attach it to the back here. And so I made 8, and it looks like it's done specifically by attaching them to this before plugging it in. And I guess, yeah, you can either do it like this or like this, but I think it's meant to be up facing, but I guess there's the option for down if you wanted to. Okay, so far this is what I've got, and it looks like I'm gonna have to zoom out. But it's like you can do like a half circle, I guess, for one side, and then do it for the other. And that would allow it actually to line up pretty good. So let's do that. I realized I might have had it the wrong way, and it's just so easy. Then I just flipped it just right then to turn them around. So again, this is actually, it seems like it's a lot, but it's actually very easy to work with. Okay, so I got the other one. Let's plug it in, but it's going to hit the bottom. So I probably need to extend this. Does it not go up anymore? Okay, so according to the pictures, it looks like move it to where there's not much, I guess, on the ground. It's more to the side. Okay, should I put the Proud Defender on first? Oh, there goes the Dragoon. So again, I like to call out, that's one of the annoying things. Should I have put the Dragoon on first or the effect parts? Either way, it would be easy to take them off since, brilliant. There's a connector piece for the connector piece with the effect parts, so you don't have to worry about each one being in the way and taking it off. You can kind of take off a whole piece, if that makes sense. But let's try to get this Proud Defender on. Okay, that actually seemed pretty easy. Just pop that in. I heard something break. Okay, so I had this pop off and the other one pop off. So maybe I didn't push it in enough. I think they're made to fall off easily if they are messed with, and probably in order for it not to break off. My God. Okay, that got a little annoying at the end, but I think I got it. And technically, one of these fell out. Okay, did I do it? Okay, let's turn it around, look at it. So this is supposed to be the whole thing you get out of it, which is really cool. I mean, I guess technically, with the Proud Defender wings, I need to open them up and pull out so you can see the pink particle effects. And a Dragoon just shot out. I know with this angle, I'm making it hard on myself. But the wings here on the Proud Defender, they open up to reveal the pink underneath, which seems very common among all these. It's like its main thing. Okay, there we go. That even opened up a bit more. Did you see that? That opens up. And I was looking at the instructions, and that seems to be the degree to which they then move out. And then that's it. But that's pretty neat. I love how, actually, there we go. Oh, it seems like you can pop it open like that. And then, yeah, again, this angle I'm working at is a little odd, but I can actually do this. Look at that. I need to open this stuff back here. I guess I'll do that for the pictures, but this thing is awesome. I mean, we just looked at, actually, I should take this off and put, the one that it would use while in this form. All right, I feel like it's like when I had long hair and I was having to mess with my hair to get it to fit. I'm just messing with all the effect parts here, but this looks cool. There's so much going on here. And I gotta say, 41 minutes. So I'm obviously editing this down, but so far this is taking me 41 minutes to film. So just think if you were to get both sets, open them up, mess with them, and you're not trying to pose for a camera, half-hour fun to like get everything together. And I think that adds to the value because with all the effect parts, with all the accessories it has for multiple gimmicks, nothing gets in the way. I think maybe the Dragoons falling off a little easy are annoying, but they actually then go back on really easy. And even the way that it's built for the stand, the different backpacks are the attachment points for the Mighty Strike Freedom or the Strike Freedom, but it also has its own connector piece. The Proud Defender itself has its own connector piece for its own stand. And between the Strike Freedom's bits, I don't know the lore off the top of my head, and then the Dragoons, the Gold Dragoons, and the way that it kind of does for both, let me grab the other one, how they both sort of work, I feel like it makes it very easy, very fun, but also easy to then get it into other forms because by having these separate connector pieces that then attach the effect parts that are then part of a stand, I just feel like that helps the whole thing work because you can then easily have something on display and not necessarily worry about it falling apart, but then taking it off to then add the other things to it. Because wouldn't you then need two of these so then you can have one with the Proud Defender and one with its regular backpack? That would be insane budget-wise, but that would be the ultimate display. Well, all right, there we have it. That is a look at the Metal Robot Spirits Strike Freedom Type 2 and the Proud Defender, which allows you to create the Mighty Strike Freedom. I will say when it comes to Metal Robot Spirits, this has been the most premium experience. Even though I feel like they're all great and they're all good, there's something about the accessories and the effect parts that came with these releases that make it very easy to use and make the materials just feel very premium. And I was having a good time with it. And there's so many gimmicks that I think it's very valuable to get both of them, even though these are a little, pricey when it comes to collectibles and stuff. But again, I've been on this Mighty Strike kick, and I have not been disappointed by this release, by these effects we've got going on. It is really cool. So, let me know below, do you have any questions about this release? I don't think it's coming to the US for a few more months. If anyone wants me to try something out, check something out, report on something, let me know. Maybe I can do a follow-up video. But also, do you plan on getting this? And do you collect Metal Robot Spirits or Robot Spirits at all? I mean, I think these are fantastic. And it does seem like there is more effort put into the seed line of Metal Robot Spirits. Almost like, I feel like there's a lot of effort put into the UC Robot Spirits for anime lately. Is a seed fan more willing to buy and spend money on a Metal Robot Spirits than a regular Robot Spirits? Or I just think it's interesting. When Freedom came out, they released everything Metal Robot Spirits. I mean, even G-Quux is getting a lot of Metal Robot Spirits releases. So maybe people really are collecting these, even though I feel like the prices are pretty high. But anyway, y'all, thanks for watching. This was so much fun to dive into because I hadn't fully dived into them since getting them, but we got to do that together. A lot of fun. Shout out to Art Rovo Gundam, sponsor of this video and channel here at Gundam Explained. And also big shout out to the supporters of Gundam Explained to help me keep going. Check the links in the description for that if you're interested in seeing what it's like to support the channel, but also there's a link to our Discord. We do have a lot of fun there. It's a chill place to talk lore, show off our builds, stuff like that. But until next time, be cool.